This camera gives kind of like a horror-esque vibe look, like it's like, oh, I'm in the forest. Oh, what's that? Here's a video about why you might want a camcorder. And mostly people want camcorders because it captures the immaculate vibes of the 90s, those old home videos that we all had growing up. And one of my first home videos was actually here at Disneyland. So we're coming full circle with this camera, trying out the JVC camcorder, and I'll show you how it captures the vibes. The first amazing benefit to getting a camcorder is that you will get that film look without necessarily having to pay for the film look. So I have a digital camcorder that records directly onto a memory card, so I could just put this straight into my MacBook. I learned how to transfer the files over to a better format for Mac, and if you want a tutorial on that, please let me know. And then I'm able to import them directly into iMovie. Now, to test out how well this footage does at capturing a beautiful and nostalgic vibe, I decided to go to the most beautiful and nostalgic place, Disneyland, during the holiday season. The thing about the 90s vibes is you'll have absolutely no stabilization on these cameras. If you're used to handling unstable situations, you'll be just fine, but for most of us, that means your footage will be very shaky. So it's good to get a gimbal. If you have the time, you can also train with martial arts masters somewhere remote to develop the muscles and skill you'll need to hold this camera 100% still when you're on the go. Still, I love the look of these shots, and to be fair, it is also nighttime, and this camera is old, so you can't expect the same quality a GoPro has in terms of the smoothness. But maybe you are going for that rougher look anyways. Here's a video I didn't even know I was taking because I like to be in sports mode and have the camera ready to take a video at all time, because it can take some time to boot up a little. I shot about 2 minutes of absolute nonsense before we went to get some food. There's a real dreamlike quality to these videos in that they look a lot like how my dreams actually look. It's very cool, and they usually involve some kind of fettuccine alfredo, and trying to get this look and replicate it on an iPhone just is not the same. We're waiting in line right now, which is one of the things I do most at Disneyland. I excel at it. So we're waiting for Plaza Inn, and we might get some fried chicken plate today. And there's actually a light on this camera, and it's incredibly bright, so it's pretty cool though. There's a nighttime mode, but I haven't figured out how to interact with it yet, like how to enable it, but it should turn everything green like those videos of people like hunting. So. The digital camera has this iconic zoom that even the iPhone can't really match. I know you could do something similar on Snapchat, but I absolutely love zooming in super far. And it's great because no one wants anyone like breathing on their food, but if you're 20 feet away and being a food vlogger, I think that's okay to vlog like that. It was probably invented for like being in sports mode or looking at the moon or something, but it works very well when you're at restaurants and you want to see what the people next to you are eating. Here's what we're eating tonight, and in low light conditions I hit the pasta with that flash and suddenly it looked like some paranormal activity would happen, so I turned that off real quick. Yeah, there's not many adjustments you can do in the camera, but maybe that is part of the charm of it. Now, the zoom on camcorders are probably one of the best things about them. You can get really up close and personal. You could probably see the pores on the moon's face if you wanted to. So it's also great if you tend to sit in the nosebleeds at every concert or event, because you could zoom in like those Samsung phone commercials. The problem is you probably want to bring a tripod with you. They don't let you bring them to Disneyland, but if you want a good quality zoom, you want to keep this camera still because, yeah, I can't stop moving my arm, but here I am zooming into the moon. Oh my gosh, look how HD this got. But yeah, you can zoom in really far basically. That's the cool thing about this camera, and it adds a lot of comedic effect. A great example of this would be, we use it on my 405 music video, which I'll link here. And also the Boy Pablo music video for Every Time has a really cool example of this zoom effect. It's very characteristic of these digital camcorders. A great thing about having any kind of camera that is separate from the camera on your phone is that you're not constantly on your phone. I absolutely love this because as places start to integrate apps and technology more into their experiences, especially like Disneyland, I love being able to put my phone away and just be on the camera, and then I could think about just having and experiencing the place I'm at, the things we're going through in real time instead of looking at my phone, possibly getting notifications and being pulled away. It feels like you're much more in the moment when you could just snap some videos with your camera. I usually don't even film rides like this, but I did to demonstrate today. And it definitely feels like you're more in the present, especially if you're filming like your friends or something. I did another Disneyland vlog on this camcorder, and I felt like I was still very present because I wasn't on my phone. It didn't look like I was on my phone. I was just filming with my digital camera instead. So having that separate entity really gives you a barrier of separation from the digital landscape, and you kind of just get to still be immersed in the world that you're in. And I just want to point out how unhinged the American section is. Are these gophers with hats on? But basically we're all cowboys eating corn together and stringing up popcorn wreaths, which I guess could be accurate depiction of America today. So here we are. I love this section. Go Cowboys. As Americans, we love our grains, and right here you can see this nice graininess, and the texture of these videos is something unlike what you'll get on a normal phone camera or even on a clear and crisp vlogging camera. I will be releasing soon a review of the Sony ZV-1 that I got, and it's a completely different kind of look because their videos are so crisp and clean. So it really depends what kind of vibe you're going for. If you are filming skate videos, I would recommend getting a camera like this, especially because they can be pretty cheap on eBay, or you could just ask your neighbors or your family if they have one lying around in their closet, because this one actually I got for free from one of my neighbors who wasn't using it anymore. So I highly recommend asking on a Nextdoor app or even on Facebook Marketplace and look around to see what people might have. So here's a big tip if you're thinking about getting one of these cameras and you're choosing between getting a digicam or a camcorder. It definitely depends what your main objective is going to be with this camera. So I did a video earlier last year where I used only a digital camera for 7 days. You could check that out here. I would definitely say that some people buy digital cameras to take videos, and then they get disappointed when they only take about a minute maximum of videos, sometimes even less. I know one of my digital cameras can only take about 20 seconds of videos. This is because they're really not built for taking videos, especially the ones made in like the very early 90s. So if you're thinking about vlogging with this, primarily filmmaking, I definitely recommend going the camcorder route because of course they were made to record videos. What I love about these camcorders is they tend to actually hold and store a lot of video footage at once. Mine can go for hours, which I think is just amazing in terms of storage capabilities, especially for something this old. So definitely when you're buying something, make sure to check how long of a video it could take. And keep in mind that the still photographs on the camcorders will just not be as good as the digital cameras. Let's compare some of the test footage with footage I took on my iPhone 11 and see how they handle these same conditions. And yes, I still have an iPhone 11 because we love a frugal queen. And look at how well it is catching up here. This is crazy, the difference in quality between the Digicam and the iPhone 11. So you do have to keep in mind that if you're bringing in your digital camera as your only way of shooting, that it might be and fall a little flat sometimes in terms of what situation you're in that you want to capture. But yeah, I was that person. You guys had me out here recording fireworks. But imagine if someone in the medieval times saw this, like this would create a whole new school of thought here. So it's absolutely beautiful. And I did want to show you another side of the digital camera as well, which is more of a spooky vibe. Hey, are they real pumpkins? Hey. I don't know, they were not real pumpkins, but these ones are. They're very cool and gigantic. But I wanted to show you another side of this. It's very versatile, so you could have the cute, whimsical Disneyland vibe, and then you could also have these old kind of home video looks, and depending on how you color grade this, if you're shooting a very low budget horror film, something like that, you could definitely make it a little spooky too. Please let me know in the comments below. Let's start a little discussion thread. If you have a camcorder, or if you want one, which kind you want, or what kind you have, and if you recommend it to other people watching this video. So the camcorder I'm using in this video is called a JVC Vario HDD, so it's a hard disk drive. and it can record up to 37 hours of footage, just alone. 30 gigabytes of storage on there without any hard disk like memory card in there. So it's very impressive. I'm really liking it so far. Again, I got it for free, so I'm not sure exactly what the prices are like on these, but there are even some modern ones that people have that are pretty cheap on Amazon that would give you a similar look. But yeah, let me know in the comments, and thank you so much for watching. I'm really into this kind of gadgetry and just using what you have and old stuff, so let me know and stay tuned.